Hi friends, welcome to IBS IAS Academy YouTube channel. I am Ashok, Assistant Professor at IBS IAS Academy, and I have been training from UPSC aspirants since the past 4 years. In this YouTube channel, we will be covering all the issues important for UPSC Civil Services examination and also for the state public service examinations. Please do like, share, comment and do subscribe to our channel. Thank you. Good morning everyone. Welcome to IBS IAS Academy. The topic we are going to discuss today is BIMSTEC. And before we get into the topic, we have to understand the reason why we have to discuss about the BIMSTEC, right? BIMSTEC full form is Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral, Technical and Economic Cooperation. Bay of Bengal Initiative for multi-sectoral, technical and economic cooperation, right? So this is a multi-governmental organization, multilateral organization, and the reason why we have to discuss now is recently we have drafted a charter for BIMSTEC, and so far since the past 23 years there is no charter on what we have to act on. So now we have a charter on which we have to act on which areas where all the countries will come together and to form an association, to form a proper prospectus to work on. So that has happened recently in 2020. So that's why we have to discuss about the BIMSTEC, right? So the first one, the full form of BIMSTEC is Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral, Technical and Economic Cooperation, right? The name itself suggests Bay of Bengal Initiative. So all the countries which have the coast as the Bay of Bengal will be the part of this multi-governmental, multilateral organization. So BIMSTEC was actually established in the year 1997, but even though it was established in the 1997, it has met only 4 times. Because there is no proper agenda and there are many problems for this multilateral cooperation. We will be discussing about the problems as well, limitations which actually resulted in the BIMSTEC not working to its complete potential, right? So it was established in 1997 as BIST-EC, right, economic cooperation with 4 countries. So initially there were only 4 countries, the Bangladesh, India, Sri Lanka and Thailand. So these were the 4 countries which were a part of BIMSTEC, and it was named BIMSTEC in 2004, and after Myanmar, Nepal and Bhutan joined it, right? After that the other countries which have joined are the Myanmar, Nepal and the Bhutan, and the first summit was actually held in Bangkok in 2004. And it has met only 4 times. And the secretariat is located in Dhaka, Bangladesh. It is important for the static area. This is important for the static area for MCQ type of questions. And BIMSTEC region is home for around, why the BIMSTEC is very important, we have to understand that, because it is a home for around 1.5 billion people, right, which make up around 22% of the world's population. And the region has a combined gross domestic product of about $2.8 trillion. $2.8 trillion is the total GDP that is being contributed by these nations alone. So that's why this is very important for us. And the next one, you can see the nations in the BIMSTEC. We have India, we have Nepal, we have Bhutan, Bangladesh, Myanmar, Thailand. So the Bay of Bengal Initiative and also Sri Lanka. Bay of Bengal Initiative for the multi-sectoral and economic cooperation. So all the nations are coming together. All the nations of Bay of Bengal are actually coming together for cooperation. So this is why it is a multi-governmental or multilateral organization. So what are the founding principles of BIMSTEC? So we have to understand the principles on which the BIMSTEC is being laid, right? So cooperation within the BIMSTEC will be based on the very first point, right, the respect for the principle of sovereign equality, right? So every country is sovereign and every country is equal. So that is the prime principles on which the governmental bodies actually come together for the cooperation. There is no country which is rich, or there is no country which has the highest status, or there is no country which is actually lower. Every country has the equal vote and equal voice. So we call it sovereign equality. And the second one, right? The second one is the territorial integrity. The next one is the territorial integrity. So in the preamble, we are talking about the unity and integrity of the nation. So territorial integrity should not be compromised. If it is compromised, it is a question about the sovereignty. Right? The next one, we have to respect the territorial integrity of those nations. And political independence, the political dependence. Right? Political independence. So politically, it should not be influenced by any other country. Right? And non-interference in the internal affairs, so which is very important. Right, non-interference into the internal affairs, because the country is actually sovereign. No country can interfere into the internal issues of a particular nation. So non-interference of the internal affairs and peaceful coexistence and mutual benefit. Right, the last point, right, the peaceful coexistence and the mutual benefit. So these are the principles on which the BIMSTEC has been founded. Right. So the next one, what are the different areas of cooperation? This one we have to know, right? Now because we have the charter, so on what areas these nations are coming together to build the cooperation, right? So this we have to know, and it has identified 14 priority areas, right? About 14 priority areas were actually identified, whereas a member country takes a lead, right? Where a member country takes a lead. So all the 14 points or the 14 priority sectors were actually taken into the consideration, where the member country will actually take a lead on those particular areas. And India is actually leading for the transportation and communication, which is important for us. The transporting and communication, tourism, environment and disaster management, and disaster management, and counter terrorism and international crime, right? Transnational crime. Right, transnational crime. So these are the areas where the India is leading in. The first one, transport and communication, and the next one is tourism, next one environment and disaster management, and the next one counter terrorism, and finally transnational crime. So these are the areas where the nation India is actually taking care of. India is actually leading in those sectors. And the charter categorized. So whatever the charter we have drafted, it has categorized the cooperation in 14 fields to 7 sectors. So ultimately there are 7 sectors. So trade, investment and development is one sector, right? The first sector is trade, investment and development, and the second sector is environment and climate change, which is a serious issue now, and the third one is the security, and the fourth one is agriculture and the food security, and the fifth one is people to people contact, and the sixth one is science, technology and innovation, and the seventh one is the connectivity. So these are the areas where the cooperation has to be done. So all the 14 fields are segregated into 7 sectors where we have the cooperation on. The next one, significance of BIMSTEC. Why the BIMSTEC is very significant? Even though we have met only for the four times, the BIMSTEC plays a very significant role. So we have to know the significance of it. So the first one is the economic cooperation, right? Between the BIMSTEC member nations, even though the GDP is contributing about $2.8 trillion, so we can actually expand the cooperation, because with the Bangladesh we have a really good economical transactions that are happening, but it is so much less than compared to that of the maximum potential it holds. And also with the Myanmar, even though we have the free trade agreements and all, so even though with the other countries we have the free trade agreements into the consideration, so they are not up to the complete potential. So the first reason is the economic cooperation. The next one, integration of South Asia, right? When you are talking about the integration of South Asia, with what you have to integrate? So integration of South Asia with the Southeast Asian nations. So all the South Asian nations are the member nations of SAARC, South Asian Association for the Regional Cooperation, and whereas all the Southeast Asian nations are associated with the ASEAN group, right? Association of Southeast Asian Nations. So this is acting as a bridge between the Southeast Asian nations and also Southeast Asian nations. So that's why the BIMSTEC is very significant. And the next one, development of northeastern region, right, for the Seven Sisters development. So this plays a very vital role, because the trade and transactions with the mainland, the northeastern states are actually connected through a small Siliguri corridor. We call it a chicken snake. So for the economical prospects to enhance, so all the northeastern states has to trade with the neighboring nations. So those nations are the members of the BIMSTEC or the Asian nations. So that for the development of the northeastern region, so we need the BIMSTEC. And next one, counter Chinese influence. So the China has been influencing all the neighboring nations. To counter the Chinese influence, we have to make sure our regional cooperation is strong enough, right? For that, we need the next one, energy security, right? So when you're talking about the energy security, so the nations in the BIMSTEC are actually rich in the natural gas production. So to maintain the energy security in India, we have to maintain the better cooperation with the BIMSTEC member nations. So this is why we have to maintain a significant relationship with the member nations of the BIMSTEC. Why? Now, because we have a charter, we can have the more meetings with the BIMSTEC, and we can make better arrangements for the cooperation in all these areas. The next one, what are the challenges which were actually hampering the BIMSTEC cooperation? So we have to understand about the challenges as well. The very first challenge is the no political will. Right, the first challenge is there is no political will, because even though it has been formed in 1997, only for 4 times we have actually met. Only for 4 times which actually shows that there is no political will. And also free trade agreement. Even though we are talking about the trade which will enhance the prosperity of a particular nation, with most of the nations the free trade agreement is not happening, and is not happening at a proper pace. So if you have the free trade agreements, then the economic cooperation will actually enhance, which prospers both the nations. So the next challenge is with the free trade agreement. And the next one, regional geopolitics. And when you're talking about the geopolitics, even when it comes to the Asian nations or when it comes to the SAARC nations, the India is actually seen as the bigger country and which can dominate the other nations. So because of this perception and because of the regional geopolitics between the other nations, right? So I'm combining both the statement, perception of the Indian hegemony and the regional geopolitics, right? Within the member nations, so there are many other nations which are actually influencing the political or the economic prospects. So because of this regional geopolitics and the perception of the Indian hegemony that India is a bigger country and it will dominate the other countries. So because of this, we have the challenges ahead. We have the challenges which hamper the cooperation in the BIMSTEC and the poor infrastructure. Right, there is no institutional mechanism, right, to address these particular issues, and the infrastructure is not at all developed in these particular nations. So this is one of the issues, and there is no institutional framework, right? So recently I was discussing with the students why India hasn't signed the non-proliferation treaty when it comes to the nuclear weapons. So India did not sign it because it doesn't have an institutional mechanism. There is no specific body which will control the proliferation of the nuclear weapons. So because of which India is not a signatory of the non-proliferation treaty. The same with the BIMSTEC, it doesn't have a strong institutional framework which can act on. Right? There has to be a regulatory body. So if there is any resolution that actually made within the nation, then there has to be institutional framework to control it or to regulate it or to monitor it. So that strong institutional framework is actually absent. So these are the challenges when it comes to the BIMSTEC. Thank you. And we'll be meeting with a new topic tomorrow. Bye. Please do like the video, and if you have any queries, please put down in the comments below, and we'll be making videos on those areas. And please click on the bell icon and do subscribe to our channel. Thank you.